Thank you for stopping by. We're talking more liposuction today, fat transfer, how to get rid of these big bellies. We do large volume liposuction, so you got a lot, we can take a lot. Today we'll be talking about mindsets, as usual. We'll also be talking about how to take advantage of this 15% off special today. So we have this is going to be coming to the end of the month now. This special is going to be ending soon, so if you haven't taken advantage of it yet and you want to, you should do it before it ends. The special 15% off, the stipulations are that you place your deposit before the end of the month and that you have the procedure end of next month, so by the end of June. So this is for people that are taking action and changing their lives right now. You're ready to change, ready to become a new individual. When you change your body like this, it's damn near impossible to not see yourself differently, because clearly you will look different, and when you look in the mirror you'll see a different person, and when you see a different person you may choose to act the same and do the same and think the same. However, it's going to be very difficult because you are not the same. So when you look at yourself and you start seeing yourself, this person without that big belly, this person with, now you have an hourglass figure, or you have, nice butt, something, these are assets that you may not have had in the past, or maybe it's been a long time, decades, before you can be, until you've had these. So you have to start to become a new person, a person that deserves to have a body like this. So once you go through the effort, you spend the money to get the fat sucked off of you, and all of a sudden you look a certain way. If you don't do the proper things to maintain a body like this, and so if you don't deserve to have a body like this, you will give it right back. And typically my patients, not many people do this, but typically those people who just let themselves go after the procedure, they think that it's some magic miracle that we're just going to suck the fat out and you look like this and it stays like that forever. It takes people about 2 years, maybe 3 years. Then they start coming back and they're looking for more liposuctions in similar areas, or they have other problems because they've gained weight. Typically it takes about 2-3 years for people to gain about 20-30 pounds. And it happens, and it's so unfortunate. So I want to speak on it because I hope that you don't make the same choice. I hope that if you decide that you want to change your life and you're ready to take big dramatic change, such as doing liposuction procedures, these are expensive, and when you spend your money, I think you should get your money's worth, and I think you should hold yourself accountable, because if you're spending your hard-earned money, then you might as well get the most out of it. So what does that mean? It means once you get all this fat sucked off of you and you spend all your money trying to try and get smaller, you gotta change the lifestyle, because it's the things that you've done, the habits that you've done or not done, right? It's the food that you've eaten or not eaten that you should have been eating. It's the little stuff that you do every single day. Something we don't talk about a lot is your sleep patterns. And I've been finding this out on a lot of different consultations that I've been doing recently, patients that I've talked to, that people get themselves in these work schedules and life schedules which don't allow for them to sleep appropriately. So I've read a lot of books on sleep, and sleep is absolutely 100% necessary, and this is one of those foundational base functions of your life that if you don't get it right, it affects everything. It affects every aspect of your life. Just like if you're not drinking enough water, it's going to absolutely 1000% certainty is going to affect every single aspect of your life. Water, it's life. And if you're not sleeping, it's going to affect every aspect of your life. It's just a matter of how much you'll notice it affects, because when you're tired, you're less likely to do things. When you don't have the energy, you're less likely to move forward. You may be in a bad mood. You may be tired. It may put you in, it may put stress on your relationships because you're tired. You're just simply not getting enough sleep. And it's a simple thing. This is something that I've said often. these habits are so easy to do, but the big problem is it's really easy to not do. And that's where most people fall prey, is that they fall victim to this situation where it's easier to not do things. It's easier to just sit on the couch and watch TV. It's easier to not drink. It's easier to stay up late. It's easier to not go for that walk. All these things are easy, but the problem is that they put your body and your mind in a situation where you're not going to be successful. It's highly unlikely because it's so difficult. If you don't have the basic function, the basic energy in your body to be able to do the activity that you want to do, you're not going to do it. So it starts with these foundational, basic things in our life. If you're drinking enough water, okay, guidelines, recommendations state that you should be drinking, so of your body weight, 50% of your body weight in ounces. So say you weigh 200 pounds, you should be drinking 100 ounces of water every day. Okay, pretty simple. Now, you might think you drink a lot of water, but if you don't track it, you have absolutely no idea. None. So it's so important that you pay attention and track how much water you're drinking, or else you'll never have any idea what the proper amount of water to drink is. Now, I'm not saying you always have to track these things, but what it is important is that you track it in the time period that you're building the habit. So if you're trying to drink the proper amount of water every day, but you don't even know that you're drinking the proper amount of water, how could you create the habit? So typically it states that it's 30 to 60 days to create a habit that will stick. So you need to do this consistently for 30 to 60 days where you're tracking, and so you see your body will feel. This is what the key is. Your body will feel what it's like to drink enough water. And when you feel what it's like to drink enough water, you'll notice the benefits, for one, and then you will naturally drink more water because you already know what it feels like to be well hydrated. And the problem with most of us is that we're chronically dehydrated, meaning we don't drink enough water most days. And so we work on a deficit. We're chronically dehydrated. We're always dehydrated, which means it slows down all of our organs. Everything slows down. Now, the same function as water, apply this to your sleep. Because if you're not getting sleep, you're tired. And if you're tired, that affects everything in your life. Whether it's your work, whether it's your relationships, you're less likely to do things like going on activities. You're less likely to work out. You're probably in a bad mood. And it's all related to sleep. Simple things. Simple things. You got to get the simple things right. And if you can get the simple things right, you can get the big things right. But it starts with the little things. Again, tracking your sleep, just like tracking your water, is very important. Tracking your sleep is a little bit more difficult because just because you get in bed does not mean you're sleeping. This is a big lesson that I learned. Okay, so I started tracking my sleep, and you can buy a tracker. The one that I utilize is called a Whoop, WHOOP. It's a sleep tracker, tracks my heart rate, tracks activities, movements, things of that nature, and it guides me. So they have a coach with the information that they collect. They guide you and they tell you what you should be doing. So it's really cool. I like it. But the sleep pattern, what I found out was that despite being in bed, I ended up being awake for an hour and a half to 2 hours every night while I was in bed. So therefore, if you're trying to sleep for 8 hours, that means you gotta be in bed for like 9, right? It makes a big difference, right? So what's the difference now? So if you get into bed and you're anticipating being in bed for 7.5 to 8 hours, but then you're actually rolling around and you're not sleeping properly, you might actually only get 4 to 5 hours of sleep a night. And of those 4 to 5 hours of sleep, you may only get, half hour of REM sleep, deep sleep, the sleep that's restorative. So when you're not getting enough sleep, and here's the thing is this is the false thought, is that if you believe you're getting enough sleep just because you're in bed for a period of time, if you believe that, then you're falsely believing something that is actually harming you. This is where it gets a little bit tricky, because when you believe you're doing the right thing, but you're actually doing something that harms you. This is where the key comes into the tracking, and this is where the technology can get you and help you to advance yourself. This is where it's really helped me personally. And the more that you can track yourself and track the things that you do, the habits that you do, the more likely you're going to do them on a regular basis. And the more likely you do them on a regular basis, the magic is in the compound. So the compound means that it builds over time. So the work that you do today will get you in a better situation for tomorrow. And then the work that you do tomorrow gets you in a better situation for the next day. And so the more you do that, it's going to put you in a prime situation to where you're ready to do everything that you want. And that's that might take time. It might take time to get your body back into the right shape in order to function properly. But you can do it. We can all do it. And it's our only jobs. It's really our only jobs. I want you to realize that it's really your only job is to take care of yourself and your body. Now, we've been fooled into thinking that no, we have to go to work and we have to make a certain amount of money to pay these bills, and yeah, we got to do that stuff. But what's more important is that you take care of this residence. This is what you live in every day. This is what gets you from here to there. This is what allows you to see, hear, and speak. And if we don't take care of our body, then we have nothing. Because, in my opinion, health is the new wealth. And if you don't have your health, then it doesn't matter how much money you have. Because I promise you, the wealthiest man in the world would gladly give all of his money in order to have his health back. Gladly. What's up, glorious woman? Greetings from South Carolina. She says, I only gain weight in the tummy area. What area did you do your liposuction? For me personally, I had liposuction. I had liposuction on my waist and my chest. Guys get this, they call it gynecomastia, so like man boobs. So I was developing that at a young age through high school, and it never went away after college. So I had my liposuction about 15 years ago, and it was really bothering me at that point. And now, and I just got this caveat is, I got liposuction, yes. However, the body that I have now is because of all the hard work that I've done over the years. Now, I got the liposuction, but after I got liposuction, I had this mindset like, I can do whatever I want, I can eat, I can do this. So I gained weight. So this is why I know these things. I gained weight, okay, and I felt like crap and I looked like crap. Then I got to this point where, I don't want to say I hit a rock bottom, but for me it was a low. And it was a low to where I decided I didn't want to go there again. And I had weighed about 230. I weighed about 230, and this was about 6-7 years ago. And just to give you frame reference, I'm about 6'1", so I was about 230 pounds, which that wasn't huge by no means. My belly wasn't hanging over. It was big, but it wasn't hanging over. I had, my thighs were big, my butt was big, everything, I was wider. But I decided to change because, you know what, being thicker like that, I was unable to do the things that I wanted to do. I was unable to be as active as I wanted to be. My kids were active, they were playing soccer, and as a soccer player, I wanted to be more involved with them. And so I just made a decision. I'm like, I've done some things right, but I've done a lot of things wrong. I'm like, what would happen if I started doing all the things that I know are right for me? Instead of just, I should be doing these things, I should be eating better, I should be walking more, I should be drinking more water. Instead of doing this, instead of being a should, I changed it to a must. I must do this, and I'm not going to accept this anymore of living this unhealthy lifestyle. At the time, I had high blood pressure, had a heart murmur, and my dad had just passed away. And he passed away from stomach cancer, and it really bothered me. And he did not live a healthy lifestyle. He smoked cigarettes, drank a lot of alcohol, and wasn't active at all. So I saw that, and it affected me. And although it was a negative example for me, I turned it around and made it positive. And I made it something in my life that I would not turn out like my dad. I would not die at a young age for some disease that I didn't have to die from. You know, if I'm gonna die at a young age, it's gonna be like getting hit by a car or bungee jumping or something. But I decided, and it was like a hard line in the sand. I'm like, I'm not going back to this crap anymore. I'm not gonna live like this. I want to have energy. I want to live. I want to live. And I made a decision, and from that point on, I changed, and I changed dramatically, and I continue to change, and it's been a steady, constant improvement. And every day I look back at old pictures, I can be like, I look better than I did then. All of them, all of them. Even my younger pictures, I look better. I feel better. My skin is healthier. It's glowing. It's radiant. My hair is it's healthy. My nails are. I mean, everything. It's healthy with me. And in all this, I know, is from these little simple habits. And I'm just here to share them with you. And I'm not trying to tell you that you have to do these things. I'm telling you this is an option, and it works really, really well. And it's not some like long drawn out like plan. It's do the right things. That's it. Be clean in your life. Live a healthy life. You know drinking alcohol is not good for you. And I like to drink alcohol, so I don't, like I'm not going to judge anybody by any means. You do what you got to do. But if you want to achieve better in your life, you want to feel better about yourself, you want to be healthier, you want to be confident, you want to look better, you want to fit in your clothes better, you want to be able to be more active, you want to spend more time with your friends and family doing things, getting outside of the house, then you have to start somewhere. And many of you may have already started this journey somewhere else. You may have already made that decision. I'm sick of this shit. I'm changing now. You may have already made that decision. So liposuction is a way that it plays like a catalyst, like if you're familiar in chemistry, where you put a couple drops of this and all of a sudden it changes everything, and it's like it makes the reaction go. So liposuction is like a catalyst in your life where we can get you big dramatic change quickly, and then that kind of propels you forward and gives you momentum. And the momentum is the key, because if you don't feel like you're getting change in your life, you're going to want to quit, right? We all do that. When you go to the gym, after you made your New Year's resolution, I'm going to go to the gym every single day for 3 hours, and you go to the gym for the first day for 3 hours, and you're like, that was cool. Tomorrow you don't show up because you're so tired and sore, and your muscles are aching, and you're like, yeah, I need a day's rest. So you take your day's rest, and you're like, yeah, maybe I need 2 days. 2 days goes around, the third day comes, like, hey, it's Friday, it's happy hour time, back to drinking, and then your whole dreams and wishes of going to the gym are gone. I know, I'm speaking from experience, right? It's happened to me. So I know how human psychology is, and we're all the same, and that if you don't start seeing the results, it's really hard to stay on the path. So there's a couple of things that you can do, one of which is tracking. So you got to it keeps you accountable. So when you see what you haven't done, you're like, man, I told myself I was going to do this, and you see that you haven't been doing it. It's like you might beat yourself up a little bit, but it gets you back on track. It gets you doing things, and then you can see when you start seeing, like, you lined up 2, 3, 4, 5 days in a row that you've done whatever habit it is that you're trying to track. Once you've done it, you see it like, yeah, this is cool. I can see this. It's not that hard. I can do this. And then you build a little bit of confidence. And then you string together a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and you're like, then you start to see results. And you're like, I feel good. I feel better. I feel happy. I feel like you have more energy. You might start seeing a difference in your body. You might start feeling a difference in your muscle. I feel strong today. That's when the stuff starts getting fun. When you start feeling the change. Because it's really all you're looking for in all of this is to feel a certain way. Ultimately, all you want to do is you want to feel a certain way. You want to feel good. You want to feel happy. You want to feel relaxed. You want to feel joy. Okay, with love, fascia, I don't know how you pronounce that. How much would lipo be with the 15% off, and will the skin retract after lipo. So with love, first of all, in order to take care of this, take advantage of the 15% special, the first step is you want to go to get our quick quote. The quick quote system, it's on our website, myshapelipo.com. It's really easy way you can get the pricing as we're speaking right now. Just click onto the website, click the quick quote, put some basic information. Based on your height and your weight, it's going to calculate your BMI, which will tell us the volume of fat, how much fat that you had to remove. And we've created these various categories that are as a pricing structure. It allows us to give safety protocol recommendations based off of your BMI, because larger individuals is different safety protocol than smaller individuals. All right, keep smiling, teeth whitening. Okay, I was told lipo is not enough with ab muscle damage from childbirth. Is that true? I believe it's a lie. And I'm just going to justify that based off the thousands of patients that I've worked on. And please don't trust me. You know, I mean, if you have some weak muscles or something like that and you need to go get that, that's cool. But none of my patients need it. None of them need it. None of them, and all of them have had kids. You know, many of our patients have had 6, 7 kids, and none of them need this crap that you're talking about. But this is a plastic surgeon thing. They were taught this in school, and they were taught to sell it to everybody. Everybody needs a tummy tuck. Everybody needs their muscles tightened. It's a sham. It's a scam. You don't need it. There are alternatives. It's not a must. You don't have to get a tummy tuck. You don't have to get the muscles, sewn up. Some people believe it. If you believe it, then you should go for it. But if you don't believe it and you think it's possible to get these results without a tummy tuck, without the muscle tightening, then you'll try it. That's all I can say is you'll try it. And I wouldn't believe me, go to the private Facebook group. The private Facebook group, we have many of our previous patients that are sharing their stories, sharing their experience, and they can tell you for themselves. Many of them, they had multiple kids. Many of them have gone to plastic surgeons and got these fake recommendations that they have to get a tummy tuck. Many people have already gone through that process. We're not making this stuff up right now. I'm not telling you that you have to believe me. Like this is a long history. Over 15,000 procedures, thousands and thousands of women that have had these procedure, didn't get a tummy tuck, and are very happy with the results. The skin retracts back exceedingly well. Just look at the pictures. The skin, it always retracts back. The question is just how much. Now, if you have crappy skin, that crappy skin isn't going to disappear, but the volume will, and the skin will retract. Now, what are your expectations? If you're expecting that you want to have this like pulled as tight as possible and all the excess loose skin cut away, and then you want this big scar, a fake belly button, then a tummy tuck is that's in your path if that's what you want. But if you want a more natural look, you want to avoid the big tummy tuck scar, you want to avoid the general anesthesia, you want to avoid the limitations from getting your skin tightened up so much. Okay, Joanna Ventura, I hit lipo from you 7 weeks ago. How long does it take for loose skin to fully go back to normal? Joanna, there's no timeline where it has to, or even that it will fully go back. We don't know these things. However, there's a probability, statistical analysis that you can do of this. And when it happens for, let's say 80% of women, when they're able to get this results where, the fold goes away, the skin retracts back exceedingly well, and, the people that get this experience, it's not everybody. Clearly, there's going to be some people. So let's say 80-85% of people get these amazing results. Maybe it's more, I don't know. But the point is that there's always the potential for not getting those results. There's always the possibility that it doesn't turn out the way that you anticipated. There's always a possibility that the skin doesn't retract back as much as we want it to. It's a possibility. And getting into this or any other procedure for that matter, you get a tummy tuck, it's a possibility that things are really going to be bad. It's a really big possibility. It's not a foregone conclusion that you're going to get the best results. It just isn't. This is the real world that all of us live in, and we all have to deal with the randomness of the way things happen. So control what you control. This procedure is not something that you can necessarily control. I control it. It's really, I'm not even, I wouldn't even say I control, as I'm influencing. I'm influencing based off the actions that I'm doing. And I like to believe that I have some type of control, but the truth is I don't control what your body does. I don't control how well your skin tightens up. All I can do is influence it by doing the actions that I do. Now, how quickly does the skin retract back? I don't know. Some people it retracts quicker than others. Some people retracts more than others. What can you do? There's a lot of different people that are talking about different things. I like there's simple basic stuff like a dry brush that you can do on a daily basis. You just brush. I do it before I get in the shower, and it stimulates the collagen on your skin, so that helps tighten the skin. Rebecca is a big fan of the dry brushing as well. She had a lot of stretch marks. She said it helped with the collagen growth and to reduce the stretch marks. There's other non-surgical techniques that you can, or treatments that you can do. There's like radio frequency. At our office, we have a radio frequency machine called the Venus Legacy, but there's many other machines. I know that many of you are coming from out of state, so it may not make sense for you to come back to us. But there's local places all over the country, I promise, that have these skin tightening, the radio frequency based technologies. They are meant for the skin tightening. It also breaks down fat, is what they claim. Now, I would never use any of these non-surgical technologies to reduce your fat. However, once you've had the fat reduced and you have like small irregularities, like maybe a lumpy bumpy here or whatever, or it's a little bit bulge here or indentation here, the radio frequency, the Venus Legacy machine that we have, it'll kind of smooth out. So it's not gonna, it doesn't make huge dramatic changes. Think of this, it's like the polish. It's polishing the surface to get you better results. So it tightens the skin, not a ton, but it'll tighten the skin some. It doesn't smooth out everything, but it'll smooth it out some. If you have big defects, it'll kind of like buffer the edges essentially and make it a little bit better. And so it's a possibility. And then there's some people. Maybe you decide that you do want a tummy tuck. If you really want that skin tight, maybe that's an option for you. And I'll tell you what, after getting liposuction, it's way easier to get the skin cut away because, in fact, in most cases, they can do it in an office-based setting if they're good. Some of these doctors, it's like they can't do anything unless they do it under general anesthesia. But clearly, it can be done under local when you just have skin. If they need to do a more extensive big surgery, then it's obviously it's a little bit more that needs to be done. Okay, how much for the belly, arms, and can it be done in the same day, multiple places? Hortensia Vela Gomez. First of all, Hortensia, go check out our quick quote. If you're on Facebook right here, so up in the post, there's a link there for the quick quote. If you're not on Facebook, go to our website, myshapelipo.com. There's a quick quote system there. It gives you all the pricing. Now, for the belly, first of all, Hortensia, I don't know who you are, so I don't know what you look like. I don't know how big you are. So our safety protocol is in place for dependent on how large the individual is. We split procedures up into different sizes. Now, there's a limitation on how much fat that can be removed in one procedure, as well as how much numbing medication that can be utilized to remove that fat. So we try to guesstimate the size of procedure that we can do on each individual where we would maximize the amount of fat that we get off of you while keeping it safe and utilizing the proper amount of numbing fluid for safety reasons. Now, can you do things? I don't know. I typically like to break this down into three quadrant or three thirds of our body. So we got the upper body, the midsection, upper body. And so in the upper body, we would treat like the arms, the underarm, the upper back, the chin. If you have a buffalo hump back here, that's the upper body. And in most people, that's the maximum we can do in procedure because we'll get a substantial amount of fat out. Now, the midsection is all the way around 360 degrees. Now, on larger individuals, they carry an abundance of fat out in front here. And so we have to isolate and do only the front of the abdomen. and then come back and do the sides and lower back. So we have 2 procedures for the 360. On smaller individuals, we can do the 360 all at once. So, you know, and again, these are just safety protocols. And each individual, if you're serious, you're ready to move forward, Hortensia, the next step is you want to get the formal consultation. It's $100. You'll speak directly with me. I'm going to review pictures, and we'll go over all the plan, and I'll explain all my thoughts with this. Also, part of the whole consultation process is some individuals want to push the limits. They're ready to do more, and they want to do as much as they can, especially those coming from out of state. I get that. I am willing to push limits. However, there is a limit. And so you and I together need to discuss where the limits are and where we want to draw them. I know from my experiences, I have my hard limits where I'm not going to do any more because we've had issues. And I know that when we cross those limits, the issues elevate significantly. So what are we talking about? What kind of issues? What kind of things can you have during liposuction procedure? Well, when liposuction, we're removing a large volume of fat, the volume works almost as if it's like a fluid in our body. And so when we're taking out that fluid, that volume, your body responds by being dehydrated. And since we're taking out larger volumes, it can become a severe dehydration. What does that mean? The signs and symptoms of severe dehydration might be lightheadedness, dizziness, fainting, nausea, vomiting, and essentially you feel like crap until your body accommodates and your fluids get back to normal. So, because we know this, because we know that it's an issue, and we push the limits, and we're anticipating that we're going to have this issue, because we know this, we preload you. And that's why I talk about drinking water so much, because it's so important. But we preload you with water, meaning the week prior to the procedure, I want you drinking excessive amounts, so more than you should be. You're going to get filled with water. You're going to have an abundance of water in your body, which is great. Now when we remove that volume and you're dehydrated, because we're going to make you dehydrated, so when we remove that volume, you already have a full volume within you. And so those patients tend to do much better after the procedure, have very few issues. After the procedure, they get up and they walk out and they do great. And that's, I would say, most patients. It's the people that don't do the things that they're supposed to do are the ones that struggle. All right. Okay, I'm ready to get this done. Sign me up. Dino. So Dino, you got to go. The next step, if you're ready, is to get your formal consultation. I got to speak with you. That's required for the procedure. So we just need to confirm everything is, that we're all on the same page. So the formal consultation is the next step, and then we can go ahead and move forward. Okay, Chanel Shaney. Does the sale include arm lipo? The sale includes all lipo and fat transfer, for that matter. It's 15% off your procedure costs. So, Chanel, go to our quick quote on our website, myshapelipo.com, and you can get a quote for your arms and whatever else you want. We have a couple packages there for the upper body. Typically, people that treat the arms also have this issue. It's the underarm side of the breast. So like larger breasts will kind of roll into that armpit. So you get that roll right into the underarm. And then your upper back right here, it forms a bra roll. So you can see this right up here. You can see the bra roll, that little muffining. So we take care of that as well. That's part of the package. And we also typically, the upper body package, we're going to do the chin as well. That's the whole upper body. That's typically what people have, the issues that they have. As you get bigger, these all become issues. Okay, Claudia Garza, 7474. So what about if I have varicose veins on my legs? Can I still get it done? Absolutely. You know, I've actually, interesting, I had this older lady that had a lot of varicose veins on her thighs, and we did liposuction on the thighs. And it ended up, it made quite a few of the varicose veins go away. Really interesting. They just went away. And not only that, she had a lot of cellulite, and I didn't make the cellulite go away, but it got significantly better. These are weird. Look, liposuction, I'm not saying that do liposuction because you have varicose veins. Heck no, I would never say that. But I experience this a lot, where liposuction somehow makes a difference. So varicose veins, obviously varicosities are, they're incompetent veins. So sometimes with liposuction, we break veins. And if these veins are incompetent anyways, they're not working. So when we go in, we're basically going from the underside of the surface where we're scraping the under surface of the skin, right where those varicose veins are, and then sometimes they'll break them. And they essentially just get destroyed. You don't need them. They're not working appropriately. So yeah, hopefully that helped. Okay, Queen Blue Scott says, how long does it take to heal when you can get up and move around? You're going to get up and walk around. You're going to walk out of our office, and I have many patients that are able to go out to dinner the same night, go to a show. I mean, it's Vegas, right? So people go to shows. I've had people go walk the strip. The same night. And these are like friends of mine that have done this. Now, with that said, not everybody can do that. Okay, let's say again, 80% of people maybe you'll feel good after, good enough to go do things after the procedure, but not everybody. Some people are not, so don't be that one person be like, hey, but you told me I can. No, don't be that person. There's a whole wide spectrum of what's possible after this procedure. Some people are, the highly functioning individuals are going to be right at them and they won't even slow them down. There's other people on the opposite end of the spectrum that are going to have challenges and struggles, and they're going to be laid up in bed. Like the people that don't drink enough water beforehand and lightheaded, dizzy, and fainting, they might be laid up in bed for a couple days after the procedure. What's up, Chanel? She says, yes, I've had a tummy tuck and not happy with the results, but no more anesthesia or huge cuts. Chin too. Wow, thank you so much. Yeah, the tummy tuck sucks. But you know what, Chanel? We have a lot of patients that have had the tummy tuck and simply didn't get enough liposuction, and it left them square in shape. So liposuction is awesome for that. It's really awesome. People that have had tummy tucks and they left you square, we can all of a sudden give you an hourglass figure, and it's freaking amazing. So if that's an issue for you, you got that hourglass figure, or you're looking for an hourglass figure, this is amazing. Okay, Vanessa says, question, do you have to have the full amount paid before the treatment? Yes, we do. We did, and I've heard this from a few businesses. This is why businesses don't finance anymore, or do self-financing. You allow the financing from outside companies. We did self-financing in the past where we just, we would allow people to pay a percentage of the procedure, then make payments afterwards. Nobody paid. Nobody. We lost like $100,000 doing that, so not going to happen again. So, however, there is a finance company that we deal with, and you can go get a loan with them and not pay. As far as I'm concerned, you can do whatever you want, but not with us. Okay, Vanessa says she did the quick quote last week. All right, Vanessa, then you're up for the paid consultations next. Ready to move forward. Okay, so you say no down payment and payment plan option. That's not true. That's not true. Just because you make the statement. No, it's we still require a down payment with the payment plan. And so we have a payment plan where you can make payments. However, you can't get the procedure until you paid in full. So we'll allow you to make payments to us, but you just be paid in full before we move forward. So, and if you want to be not paid in full before, then that would be financing. So there is a finance company that you can do that with. They're based off of credit, and typically I think it's the lowest credit score is about 600. Now, if you have below a 600, you still want to get credit. Yeah, that is possible. You can get a co-signer. So you just need someone else with better credit to vouch for you and say, hey, I'll cover them. Now the problem is if you don't pay, then you put it all onto them, and it'll fall on their credit, so that would suck. So not a good move. Okay. Aisha Carter says, I'm excited. I'll be in tomorrow for the rest of my procedure. Sweet. Tomorrow's the day for Aisha. That's right. I think we're finishing up 360. It's really, for me, when our previous patients come back, it's such a boost of confidence for me, because obviously you were happy enough to come back. Even better when you tell your friends or your family, like it makes me feel so good because that means I did what I was supposed to do, and you agreed. Well, that's like it's one thing if we like we offer a service, but if you're not happy with it, then many people will go leave a negative review or go off and not say anything. Rarely some people will call us and be like, hey, you guys fell short in this part, and that's actually awesome because when you tell us where we fall short, then that gives us the opportunity to change and improve. And I really actually do appreciate that. And those people that are actually trying to help us, is very beneficial. Not only for us, but for any business. If you genuinely want to help the business because you care about them and offer them suggestions on how to improve, that's very, very beneficial. It's way better than everybody's smiling to us and say, "Yeah, good job," and when they really hate it. That sucks. Don't be that person. If you want to, you want to help us out, tell us where we're falling short so we can make things better. Because I don't want the next person to have the same experience. I don't want to put a string of people that have bad experiences. That's bad for business. And you won't come back or you won't send your friends. I don't like that. So help us out, especially those that are coming back. Like Aisha. I obviously you trust us what we do, but I know we're not all good. There's always got to be room for improvement, and I'm always looking for improvement. And this is where one of those things that I preach this stuff. I preach this that you need to be always constantly improving, and I do the same thing. I am always constantly improving at every aspect of my life, and liposuction is just this is a big part of my life. So I'm constantly improving. I am constantly improving my techniques, my style, how I do this stuff. I'm constantly improving our paperwork at the office. I'm constantly improving the experience of the patient, our aftercare, our recommendations. Everything is constantly improving because when you come back to our practice a year from now, or 2 years from now, or 3 years from now, I want you to be like, wow, this is better. This is way better than last time. That's what we're going for. That would be ideal. All right, Vanessa says, what exactly is 360 procedure? How is it different than just regular lipo? Well, 360 is a term, it's a word. So a lot of these things that you hear are just, like slang terms, I guess you might call it. So we came up with this term 360 lipo, and it basically means all the way around the waistline, 360 degrees. And when we do that, we're able to treat the whole front of the abdomen, make whatever fold go away, and we treat the sides, and we're able to create an hourglass figure, elongated curves, lowering the waistline. This is particularly nice for shorter individuals, people in those 5'2" range, where we elongate the waistline. So it makes it appear that your torso is longer. You might even have this more like elongated, taller look. Now, I'm not making you taller, but it's just an illusion. And it's a pretty cool one, actually. So we get the hourglass figure, and then on the back, we're gonna go up in this lower back area. And many people, the back, it'll fill in with fat, which means that when it fills in, it makes your butt look flat. Okay, and it also takes away that natural curve that you have to your back, and it'll make you have more of a boxy shape. So when you fill in the sides, it gives you that more square shape. When you fill in lower back, it's a square shape. And it's the same thing. This is all kind of filling in and making you a boxy shape. So we're able to do the 360 lipo, flattens out the belly, creates the hourglass figure, gives you that natural arch to your lower back here, and it shapes the butt. So when you have that fullness in the lower back and then a little bit of a butt, it makes it look like your butt's flat. Okay, but when we take out that fullness here and we create that nice arch to your lower back, that nice arch goes right into the butt. So you get that arch and right into the butt, right? And because we're taking out that fat in that lower back area, it makes it look like the butt pops out. And it will appear as if you got a BBL without even adding any more fat. So when you refer to, Vanessa, when you refer to regular lipo, it's kind of an antiquated term. Regular lipo is, nobody really does the older way of lipo anymore. So the older way of lipo, even the old school plastic surgeons, which they're still doing with general anesthesia, which is the old regular type of liposuction. But even those people, those surgeons are still doing the tumescent technique, which is the same one that we do when you're awake. The reasoning behind that is it's the epinephrine that we put in that fluid, which constricts the blood vessels and makes it so there's very little blood loss. So even when they put you to sleep, they're injecting that fluid in there to get less blood loss. So it's a great technique. It works well, and it's regular lipo is, I guess, what most people would call the older technique, which is the general anesthesia. They were using larger instrumentation, and they didn't use the tumescent technique. But as I said, I don't think anybody in their right mind is doing it the old way anymore. We know you don't need to use larger instruments. Smaller instruments are clearly better. There's a bunch of different technologies out there that kind of take advantage of the same idea, where they're putting energy into the removal of the fat. Those are the technologies that are helping. But the truth is, all the technologies out there, you're still getting fat removal, which means that all of them can still do the same thing. Now, personal preference as far as a surgeon, they might have one technology that they like better than the other. I personally do. Micro-Air is the brand of technology that I like the best. I've been using it forever, and I've used a bunch of different technologies interspersed throughout the years that I just didn't like. I've used the Vaser, I've used Tickle Lipo. There's a couple other different hand pieces and instrumentation that I've used that they're just not good. And I've just found, the old faithful Micro-Air, it's called Power Assist Lipo. So Power Assist, and the way it does that is this machine. So you got the cannula, the hand piece, and then you have the cannula that pops off the end, and that cannula vibrates, and it's like a pistoning. It goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, like thousands of times per second, and that is what helps to break up the fat and take it out easier. So it's the Power Assist. It helps us to get more fat off easier. Which, by the way, liposuction is not easy. Super difficult. So those of you that come in for the procedure, those of you who had the procedure, you know how hard I work to get the fat out. And yeah, it is what it is. And it's one of these things that I think that it lowers, it raises the barrier of entry for doctors that are trying to get into liposuction. Because many of them don't have the physical strength to be able to do it. It's really difficult. So most of them just aren't strong enough, and so that weeds them out. So if you're going to someone that's not strong, then you're going to get mediocre results, because it takes a lot of hard work to get this much fat out. I mean, anybody can get a little bit of fat out and charge you for it. Anybody can do that, but who can get a lot of fat out and get the results? That's the difference. And I'll be honest with you, our prices are cheaper than plastic surgeons who are charging way more, and their results are mediocre and best. And most of the plastic surgeons are requiring you to get tummy tucks, which is ridiculous. Love that. The arch would be wonderful. 5'9". Yep. Well, shoot, if you don't have the lower back arch in 5'9", this would be amazing. Danielle's coming in soon. What's your technique to sculpt the jawline? All right, I just did one of those today, the chin. So we call it a chin, but it's we're creating this jawline here. And Granville's gonna get a picture up here in just a second to show you, but we can see if you put your fingers right by the corner of your ears and you draw an imaginary line to the corner of your mouth, corner of the ear, corner of your mouth, that's about how high I go. So all this stuff up above the jawline, we're gonna get that stuff out. And what does that do? When you have a fat face, it's rounded, okay? And you can see from the picture up here, it's rounded, right? And she also, you'll notice she lost the jawline, okay? It went face to neck. So the fat goes face right into the neck, so the jawline disappeared. And so what happens when we take this fat right here, it ovals the face. It makes it more elongated and makes it more of an oval. So you can see that happen right here, ovalness. Okay, that's what we're trying to achieve. And we do that by going up here. And a lot of people will call this the jowls. So we take all this stuff here, which creates that elongated, and then also we go everything in the neck area. So everything below the jawline, about here, and usually there's a obvious delineation you can kind of see right here. It's usually right where your neck folds. So when you bend down, you'll have a fold right there. We take all that stuff out, and what that does, you take the stuff out above the jawline and down below the jawline, and creates the jawline. It's like magic. Almost. But you can see right here that this is one example. So you fill in this fat right in. It's just below the jawline here, just over here, which makes it so your face will go right into your neck, and you don't get the delineation. And these are small delineations. We're just trying to create a shadow there, which will give you the indication that there is the jawline is there. And it makes I'm telling you, it makes such a huge dramatic change. The chin, we're taking out such a small amount of fat, but such a small amount of fat that makes such a big difference. Is I can't think of any other part of your body that big of a change with that little fat taken out. It's amazing. And Danielle, the chin is something that most people were able to add on. Since it's a smaller area, we use very little numbing medication, and there's not, it's not like we're taking out a huge, amount of fat that would put you at risk. So if you're interested in adding on the chin, that is likely possible for you. Okay, Charlie 4450 says, do you perform lipo with skin tightening? Yes, absolutely. So, with our packages, the way that we do them now, we used to charge separate for the skin tightening, but when we charged separate, that left it open for people to make a poor decision and make a mistake. And most of their mistakes were due to, money choices. So I decided that it's in your best interest to do the smart lipo on specific areas being like the chin. So you want to get as much skin tightening as possible, the front of the abdomen, the arms, the inner thighs. These areas are areas that we know almost everybody has loose or thinner skin, and so we want to get the maximum amount of skin tightening in those areas. So we just include it. No extra cost, just included. Now, let's say that you're one of these individuals that has loose skin all over the place, and you decide you want laser skin tightening in all the areas that we do liposuction in. Then there's an extra fee for that. But most people don't need that. And it works really well. The people that get the smart lipo, when they come back for other procedures, they almost always choose to get the smart lipo again, and that's I'm really it makes me happy to hear it, because with the smart lipo, it's not one of these instant gratification things where it makes the skin immediately tight. No, it's something that over time your skin gets thicker and tighter. So to hear that it actually works and it actually makes a difference, and so much so that those individuals that spent thousands of dollars to get the smart lipo would pay for it again, to get in other areas. So it's really speaks highly of it. Oh, you got your chin included already. All right, cool. Okay, BB Nevis, can I get a consultation? I sent pics like 1 year ago and I never got a response back. How do I get a consultation? Okay, so BB, first of all, we have a completely different system. The problem that you were having last year was a big problem for us, so this is why we made some big changes. So we were offering the free consultations, and man, hundreds and hundreds of people took advantage of those, and we just simply couldn't get to them. So we left a lot of people out there stranded that didn't get help, and it really pissed me off. So we changed everything. So now we have a free quoting system called the Quick Quote System, and you can go, since you're on Facebook here, it's up in the post. There's a click on the link for the Quick Quote. You can get your pricing immediately. And then when you're serious, the next step is a formal consultation, and that's a paid one. You pay $100, and it's required for anybody who's getting a procedure. You have to get the formal consultation. It's $100, and that'll allow you to send in pictures. I'll review it, and we'll come up with a plan and get you started. Okay, Vanessa says, been watching Trevor for years, hoping to get a procedure done one day. Vanessa, let's start utilizing words that are more in line with actually manifesting. Okay, when you're hoping one day, these are things that so keep in mind that all the words that we say are heard by our unconscious. Okay, so when you, for example, when you speak negatively about yourself, your unconscious hears you, and then you'll start treating yourself negatively because your unconscious is like, well, if I think I'm an asshole, or I'm stupid, or I'm not good enough, then I should treat myself that way. And that's when you see people, they'll yell, oh, damn it, they're so hard on themselves. But when you speak to yourself better and you speak into existence, you speak things into existence. It's so, I'm going to have this, like, it's coming to me. Or, you need to start making plans. Like, I just need to do this, right? And so I need to save money. How am I going to save money, right? You got to start figuring these things out. So instead of focusing on the problem, focus on the solution. What can you do? What can you do in order to start moving towards the solution? And again, with all things, it might not be an instant fix, but maybe like a long-term plan. Like maybe you're saving a couple $100 a month, and it'll take you however long. It's totally up to you, but you have to start doing something that will get you moving towards it. And the weird thing is once you start moving towards a goal, surprisingly, like, the universe aligns and things come together, and I'm telling you, you'll be surprised when you start moving in a direction that you're trying to achieve something. Sometimes things just come together for you. BB says, I watched Candy Lover and you did amazing with her body. You're amazing with your work. Thank you. All right. Leanna Huntley, Lipo 360 would be for me, as with many people. What's up, Raquel? She says, this was a no-brainer, and as soon as I had the money, my 360 was done in December. I love the way I feel and look. And this is Raquel here. That's the thing. It's like, some people are like, oh, the money, and they're like they're fretting over the money. But in reality, it's like every day you feel like crap. Every day you look in the mirror, you're embarrassed. Every day you limit yourself on your life. You limit yourself. Think about this. You're limiting yourself on your life every single day because of the decisions that you're making or not making. So the money that you spend on this, man, what better way to spend your money? What better way than now you're going to have more days of your life that you feel good about yourself. More days that you're going to be able to do what you want to do. More times when people give you compliments. Because if you go from looking like this to looking like that, people are going to notice. And when they notice, they tell you. And that feels good. That's where your confidence starts going up. And enough people do that, you're like, damn. And then you start believing it. Because how many times do people change like this and they don't believe it? They still believe it. They still believe themselves to be the fat person. And they even will continue to talk about themselves that way. And this is where the self-talk, you speak it into existence. So if you keep calling yourself a fat person, and like, I'm a fat person at heart, or whatever is, and it's usually like you're joking. It's always said in a joking way, but you're telling your subconscious, this is what I am. And anything that comes after the words I am is what you become. Think about it. I am a teacher, I am a father, I am a husband, and I become all of those people when I step into that role. So if you say I am fat or I am out of shape, when you speak these into existence, this is what you become. And when you want to become something different, you'll start speaking about yourself differently. And when you start speaking about yourself differently, you start acting differently. And that different action is where that's when things start to happen. When you start doing, you have to become a doer of life, liver of life. Enjoy yourself. All right, so reminder here, 15% off. All liposuction, fat transfer, BBLs, everything. It's time to change your life. It's time to make a big difference. You've tried other things. You've struggled with other things. You struggle with your life now. It's time to change. If you're ready, I want people who are ready to transform their lives. Those are the people that get the best stories. Make me feel good. It's not about me, right? But I like watching when people change your life because it's fun for me and it makes my job rewarding and it makes me happy. So I want to do more of it, and I'm driven to help more people to transform their life. And I hope that you are ready. And if you're ready, then the next step is, first of all, get your quick quote so you can get your pricing. But when you're ready to move forward, the next step is your formal consultation. It's $100. You're going to meet with me directly. You're going to send pictures. We're going to discuss your plan, figure out how we can get your body to right for your needs. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.